This is a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, one of my favorite amps of all time. I believe this is a Rev G model, meaning it's one of the old 2-channel amps. It's got the small Mesa logo, so it's probably a transition between the Rev F and the Rev G for all you Mesa nerds out there. And I just want to show you really quickly how I like to use this amp with a boost pedal, in particular this Amptweaker Tightdrive, which essentially is a Tubescreamer with an extra control, which they call Tight, which essentially acts like a high-pass filter. So the Recto on its own, if you're a Recto fan, you know it's got this just massive low end and heaps of fizz in the high end, and it's one of those love it or loathe it kind of tones. This is my PRS SC245, and yeah, this is one of my favorite guitar sounds ever. I should add as well, I'm running the output of the head into the Fractal X-Load load box, and then I'm loading it up with some IRs that I took in my Mesa 212 cab. And you know, that's a huge guitar sound, but there's so much low end there, and when you go to play live and when you go to put this in a mix with bass guitar, it really clashes with those bass frequencies and makes everything sound muddy. Hence, like a lot of other modern amps and a lot of other sort of modern approaches, boosting it with like a TS style pedal has been a cool thing to do for a while, right? And then you've got devices like the Horizon devices Precision Drive, which adds a gate and a TS style circuit. But I love the Tightdrive because with the tight control all the way off, it just sounds like a Tubescreamer. And the way I set this is with the level, in this case they call it volume, all the way up, the tone at about 1 o'clock and the gain off. So I'll give you an example of what it does, and then we'll bring in the tight control, and it really changes the character of the amp and takes it from kind of nu metal sludge to precise modern cutting hard rock heavy metal kind of tone. So we'll do that right now. We'll start with it off. So that's what it does. That's the effect it has on the sound with this rectifier. So for me, I really like the gain structure of the rectifier. I like the way the high-end sizzle can help you cut through a mix, but it's taming that low end, which is really difficult. And I love the Tightdrive for that. Just the tight control, you know, I've got it at noon at the moment, but you heard taking it all the way up, I think saps a bit too much of the character out, but there is that sort of sweet spot where you kind of hear the low end really bloom back in. And I think if you balance it out around there, then it's pretty rad. And the other thing you can do is there's an interaction going on here between the pedal, which is like pre-EQ, and the tone stack of the amp, which is, so I should say pre-EQ, meaning it's before the gain, and then the EQ on the amp, which is after the gain. So you can actually sort of run more bass on the amp. I'll give you an example of that. I'll take it up to noon and using the tight control, and again, it's just sort of like a different character on there. So if you like the sound of your amp, but you want some of that modern boosted thing in a way which, you know, it has this cool synergy that I really like. Anyway, I'll talk more about that in a sec. going really hard with the tight control, I can dial it back a little bit if I want some of that, I guess some might call it flub, but it is an inherent part of the rectifier kind of sound. So yeah, if you're looking for a pedal to tighten up your rhythm tone and you're playing hard rock or metal, the Tightdrive's awesome. I just love how solid and well built these things are, and they kind of got the kick bar on them. And furthermore, there's a send and a return in there. And if you wanted to use this together with like a Boss NS2 or something, or an ISP decimator, chuck it in the loop, and then just by turning the Tightdrive on and off, you get it coming in and out. It's now that I think about it, it's kind of the same shape as a Marshall Governor as well, which also had an effects loop, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, interesting little thing there that has come up. But yeah, I love the Tightdrive. I use it all the time in the studio for big chunky amps like this. It sounds great with my buddy Troy Splawn Nitro as well. That combination. Basically what we used on the album was the Tightdrive and the Splawn a lot, and then the rectifier with either the Tightdrive or I've got a sort of clon style pedal made by Anarchy Audio boosting that, and that's the sound of Back to Zero, 90% of it anyway with this guitar, and you can hear the effect the Tightdrive has from, like I said, it kind of takes it from this sludgy, really overdone low end kind of thing into a tight, focused, modern high gain sound. So that's the Amptweaker Tightdrive. I really like it. If you're into the TS thing and you want to sort of riff on it, it's a great pedal to look out for. If you don't want to get a precision drive, which I'd love to try as well, but it seems like sort of everybody's using that pedal, and like a lot of pieces of gear sometimes it's nice just to not have the cool thing. So the Tightdrive is great if you want that super tight, modern, turn your Recto into a 5150 kind of thing, or turn your 5150 into like a periphery gent machine. Otherwise, I'm Leon. You guys have been awesome. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you around next time.